Yeah.
How do we not do some of the Biden greatest hits today? I mean, this is the night.
We should have.
Do you have?
Should have done
Well,
that.
what do you mean?
Have some of those.
We still could.
Yeah.
We still could. So.
Well, we're looking at you because you're the one
Because
who's
I'm
the
the
keeper
one?
of the vault.
You have the fancy buttons.
You have the buttons there. We
I
don't.
started it earlier, and then we kind of moved on, so I didn't know if you wanted to do that.
Yeah,
So-
well, go ahead.
All right.
All
Sure.
right, here it is.
Well,
Here's just a couple of just the highlights of what I doubt you'll hear, but what you could hear tonight from Joe Biden.
Policy has been one which I fully understand. I'm not second guessing of one child per family.
This is to
The
China.
result being that you're in a position where one wage earner will be taking care of 4 retired people.
So he's not second guess. Who am I to second guess China's policy of we limit you to one child per family or kill your child?
Yeah,
I don't want to second guess that.
I don't say it works for you.
Okay.
It works for you.
I mean,
who wants
I?
to second guess murder?
No, nobody.
No.
Nobody.
Look, all you got to do is go down Union Street with me in Wilmington and go to Katie's restaurant or walk into Home Depot with me where I spend a lot of time. And you ask anybody in there whether or not the economic and foreign policy of this administration has made them better off in the last 8 years.
Of course, you couldn't do that because Katie's had been closed for 26 years.
Well, that's because he's
But-
spending like 26 years in Home Depot.
Yeah, that's
You
the thing.
can't go to a Home Depot in Delaware without seeing Joe Biden.
Really? He's at all of them all the time.
He's there all the time.
This guy is Mr. DYI. Do it. DYE.
Yeah. He is.
Do it. DIY.
He is really Mr. Do-It-Yourself. He really is.
He is.
In Delaware, the largest growth in population is Indian Americans moving from India. You
Yeah.
cannot go to a 7-Eleven
Can't do it.
or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent.
It's true.
I'm not joking.
He's not even
joking.
joking about
He's
that.
not joking.
You can't go in to a 7-Eleven unless you have an Indian accent in Delaware.
I tried to go into a 7-Eleven the other day in Delaware.
Yeah.
Couldn't
Wouldn't let you?
I couldn't go in.
Did they say
No,
hello
I didn't.
first, sir?
No, they didn't. No, I didn't have. It's like a weird force field. You can't go in. He was exactly right.
Oh, wow.
You can't go in to a 7-Eleven.
Is there a
without
sensor that detects
I don't know
whether
how
you
it
have
works. I don't know how it works.
Huh.
I just kept bouncing off like the current. I tried to get to the door and I kept bouncing. It was like a shield of some
That's
sort.
force
I'm not
field.
sure how it works.
You're not claiming to be a scientist here. You're
I'm
just
not a
saying what
scientist.
happened.
No, I'm just saying he's exactly right, and he described it perfectly. You just can't go in unless you have an Indian accent.
Huh. That's weird. Well, I mean, he's cleared up a lot of things like this.
Will and Grace probably did more to educate the American public than almost anything anybody's ever done.
Yeah.
I've always
Will
said
and Grace.
that.
I've always said that. Will
Done
and Grace.
more to educate the American public than almost anything anybody else has ever done.
Says
Now,
something
if you-
about our public school system, doesn't it?
It really does. If you want to say that Will and Grace was the most important for gay rights, then he'd be accurate.
You can argue that at least.
Yeah, but he's not right when they did most for education than anything anyone else has ever done.
Well, you can't argue with this, I don't think.
I promise you, the president has that big stick.
Still good every time.
It is a good one.
That is.
It is a good one.
So is this.
And it happens to be, as Barack says, a 3-letter word. Jobs. Jobs. Jobs.
I love that 3-letter word. JOBS. 3-letter word.
Maybe he's thinking of a different BS, which is a compound word.
Right, that's right. Yeah, that's
I mean, you got the first sort of mainstream African American who was articulate and bright and
Clean.
and clean, nice looking guy. I mean, that's a storybook, man.
It's a storybook. It is so true.
That's the only place you can find a clean, articulate African American is in a storybook. I don't even know if you can find him there. I've never seen one.
You know Denzel Washington? He's actually a machine.
Really?
Yeah,
he's not really even
no.
he's not an African American.
No.
But I look at Denzel Washington and I think he's articulate, he's clean,
Right.
and
Is he bright, though? Do you think he's...
Oh, I think he's very bright. I think
right.
he's very bright. But the problem is he's not a he. It's a machine. The storybook.
That explains
Yes,
it.
storybook.
That
It's a storybook.
explains it.
Yeah.
My dad respected Barack Obama. Would have respected Barack Obama had he been around.
Love that one. My dad respected, and then he realized, okay, my dad
Dad had been dead.
He's been dead for too long to even know Barack Obama. He would have respected
My
him, I think.
dad would have respected
Barack
Barack
Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Would have, maybe if he'd met him and then he agreed with his policies of Marxism, which my dad didn't necessarily, but I think he would have liked certain aspects of
He would have
Barack
liked how he
Obama's
would have said,
character.
there's a black man that's clean.
And
Articulate.
Guys
Right.
articulate.
Right. And what is up with, I tried to go into the 7-Eleven the other day.
Couldn't.
I kept bouncing off of this like invisible force field,
yeah,
Joe.
Dad, that's right. You've been dead for so long, I forgot to tell you. You can't go in unless you're an Indian American.
Really?
Yeah, can't go in.
America's really
Yeah.
changed.
It's changed
My
a little
dad would be pissed if he couldn't go into a 7-Eleven if he didn't have an Indian accent. But
Those 47%,
Mhm.
they include
Get
the
this.
650,000 troops still left
Still left.
in Afghanistan.
Oh, my gosh. That's a lot of troops.
650,000 troops are still there.
how many is that? Like, because we have like what, 550?
No.
550,000.
No, it's a little high. That's a little
high.
500,000?
500.
That's still a tad.
450.
Yeah, no,
400.
A little high.
350.
Still just a skosh.
300.
A little less than that.
250.
Under that.
200.
A little lower.
199.
No, back up a little bit more.
200?
Not quite. No.
Between 200 and 199?
No, it's less than 199. You're under
175?
less than
150.
That. Nah, a little lower.
125.
A little more.
100.
Even more.
More than that?
More than that.
140.
No,
138.
No, I mean more under. Not
more under.
Yes,
less.
under,
Okay.
Less.
You
yes.
don't play this game very well. Remind me never to give you a game show.
We already lost the money a long time ago.
Right.
Yeah, you don't want that to be your
75?
lifeline.
Let me help you. 68,000.
68,000. So that is
68,000.
very close to
Very close.
500.
650.
650,000.
Yes, dangerously close.
It's really only a zero. And what is zero?
Right.
Nothing.
That's
really
true. That's a
only
great
zero
point.
away.
That's a great point.
That's all he got
Wow.
wrong was a zero.
It's a good way to look at that. It really is.
But like all of the families, we wish we weren't here. We wish we didn't have to be here. We wish we didn't have to commemorate any of this. It is, and it's a bittersweet moment for the entire nation.
Talking about 9/11, bittersweet.
The bittersweet.
Bittersweet. I know
Some
the
of us
bitter
couldn't
part.
find the sweet part of that, but Joe could. To his credit, he could.
Well, there was a.
He could find the
there was
sweetness
a,
in 9/11.
There's a sweet.
Yeah.
If you were in a cave in Afghanistan,
Oh, okay.
it was a sweet moment.
All right.
Good for you.
Hey,
Maybe.
if you were on the streets of like the Gaza Strip, you got sweets. They gave you. Remember, they gave out candy and sweets and stuff.
Oh, that's right.
Bitter
Yes.
for
And-
us, sweet for them.
Okay.
And thank you, Dr. Pepper, and thank you, Chancellor.
Give me one more. You got to give me a stand up, Chuck. The guy in the wheelchair. Stand up, Chuck, because there's just nothing better than that when he's introducing.
Yep.
Stand up, Chuck. Let him see you. Oh, God love you. What am I talking about?
What am I talking about? You're in a wheelchair. I'm looking right at you, sitting in the wheelchair. Stand up, Chuck. Come on, you're healed. Healed. Stand up, Chuck. Oh, good God. What am I saying?
Then you might have missed this one because I think you were out last week.
Well, you guys should sit down if you have seats.
So he did the stand-up Chuck to a guy who couldn't stand up. He did the sit-down to a group of people who couldn't sit down because they had no seats. So he's like, stand up, Chuck. Oh, that's right. You're in a wheelchair. Doggone it. God love you. You can't do that, can you? Your legs don't work for some reason, Chuck. That's weird. I'm sorry. God love you. Your legs. Why don't they work, Chuck? And then to a group of people who have no seats. Would you people just sit down, please? Oh, that's right. You don't have chairs. It's so great.
Dope. Oh, wouldn't it be great if he just unleashed on one of these tonight?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, let's think about that for a second.